shocking social experiments demonstrate why conformity and blind obedience to authority have gone viral. The writer says, I'm floored by the fact that so many people are not only rushing to participate in all the mandates, rules, edicts, and orders, but also demanding that we nonconformists do the same. Even going so far as to support coercion and segregation of people who dare wish to remain naturally healthy and uncolonized by the pharmaceutical industry. The social pressure is outstanding, and if I hadn't been involved in researching the work of the social engineers, mind control experts, and propagandists over the years, the writer says, I might not be able to see what's really happening. Science definitely has a logical explanation for the fact that so many people are willing to put drugs in their bodies without logically assessing the risk v reward, or even knowing what's in the things. Science can almost definitely explain why people demand that others take this product when the product is supposed to offer protection to you from those who don't take the product. I'm taking this drug to protect myself from you. You must have the product as well. So I'm protected. The logic is, well, nowhere to be seen. And science can also most definitely explain why so many people are uninterested in the declarations of globalist vampires like Klaus Schwab, who openly say that they want to eradicate the concept of private property, track human beings by the signature of their heartbeat, and read people's minds to determine if they're a threat to the state. In fact, science very clearly explains why people do things that go against their self-interest. Let me offer you a few examples, the writer says. In the 1950s, Solomon Asch conducted a series of group psychology experiments which demonstrated how easily people will go against the evidence of their own eyes. Interestingly, there's a quote in 1984 by George Orwell where he says one of the most important and final points of the takeover of the mind was when you denied the evidence of your own eyes. Just because of the influence of a group of anonymous peers. Participants were asked to look at a picture of simple lines and declare which one appears to be closest in length to a control sample. The correct answer is always quite obvious, yet the majority of participants answered incorrectly, instead following along with a group of others who deliberately gave the incorrect answer. The essential question here is, would you rather stand alone and be right, or stand with the group and be wrong? This is the riveting example of the power of groupthink. We're hardwired for social conformity, if we allow ourselves to be, even when doing so may present an immediate danger to our safety, as now. This phenomenon is well known and is illustrated by a social experiment overseen by psychology professor Dominic Abrams, in which researchers attempt to answer the following question. Behaving differently from your group can make you an outcast. But what would you do if you knew your group was entirely wrong? Would you, for example, sit in a burning room just because everyone else does? Shockingly, most participants ignore the evidence of their own senses and instead immediately leaving the burning building, they waited for the group to lead the way, which in a real-life situation would have cost their lives. And then there's Stanley Milgram's famous 1961 social experiment. I've seen this or examples of this, on obedience to authority, and hailed as a milestone in our understanding of how people's ethics can drastically change when responsibility for their actions is deferred to an authority figure, such as an expert or leader. So this experiment is that they get someone to press a button, basically, and give an electric shock to someone. And they hear the screams of the someone. They're not real screams because the person doesn't know it's all a trick. But the person doing it thinks they're real screams. And the authority figure just keeps telling them to keep delivering the shocks because the guy in the lab coat says so. Even when they believe that person was gravely injured. Only a tiny percentage of people refused.